Hey everyone, it's Amador, and welcome to another edition of Shop Your Stash Saturdays. And this was a collaboration with Sabrina. She thought of this awesome idea, and she totally invited me on to play along. And I was like, yeah, for sure, hello. So anyhow, today my project is inspired by this Kate.spade phone case. So you'll see my little setup over here. I already did all of the die cutting and everything. It's going to be a little bit sped up because I ended up talking too much, and then I wasn't paying attention that I was doing, trying to focus where I was going to put my embellishments, that I totally forgot I was recording. So here's the Kate.spade phone case. They have like the tote bag and everything that matches with it, but I totally saw this, totally fell in love with it, and I had to have it because most of the phone cases for my iPhone 7 Plus are pretty much ugly. So I thought, you know what, I totally love this ice cream idea, and I tried several different things before I actually finalized this version of it. And then I was like, oh my gosh, it took me like a few minutes just to prep everything, and here we go. So these are items that I have never used in my craft supplies. This was a gift from Sybil B. So Sybil B, hi if you're watching. And this was the Sweet Treats die from Dynamics. And the funny thing is, I have the dies but not the stamps. I haven't the slightest idea why. So anyhow, but this one was a birthday gift, part of a birthday gift from Carol, one happy crafty chick here on YouTube. Hey Carol. And this was from Little Inker. This is awesome brush font Hello. And another thing that I use, and you see my little scraps there, I wanted to use some cardstock that I have never used. And I have this in my stash, this Lawn Fawn Fundamentals Rainbow Stack, which has quite a bit of them. So I used Guava, Fake Tan, Sunshine, Peacock, and Mermaid cardstock. All I did was just cut up a 2-inch strip from the top. See, here's my scraps. And I just went to town. Now this one is just some old piece of cardstock I had in my my scrap box. This was before I had my die cut machines and stuff. I would print boxes or patterns on the back of my cardstock on 8.5 by 11, and then use them that way, cut them up myself, and the old school way of doing it because it was super cool and cheap. Super inexpensive. So here I'm also using some foam that I got from, I have no idea where. So I'm leaving it in the base of where the fun foam is for me to actually glue the cardstock on top of it, because I did cut the cardstocks and to layer as well. And I cut the ice cream cone, the ice cream, the popsicle, and the sticks. There you can see the line of the cardstock on it. And they're already cut up. Like, I just have my little assembly station. You can do this for any project. Just prepare everything. I love doing this for cards. So originally we were just going to make embellishments, but I figured these were embellishments that I'm using on the cards, and I'm going to have a little set of 3 cards to give her. But I will also make some little embellishments for her to be able to use on her cards or wherever she wants to use it. And I just started out by literally just making a mess and trying to figure out what I was going to do. I used this tacky glue, this Scotch tacky glue, and the fine tip is like the no clog tip I got on Amazon for that bottle of glue. Whenever I get a new bottle of glue, I just go ahead and slap that lid right on top, the tip of it. So here I am just assembling some of the popsicles, and just easy peasy. You have all of this set up and you can just assemble it. Like, use your die cuts, prepare like a theme. This was literally ice cream themed, and I just happen to have the die cuts, but people have tons of die cuts, you guys. Use your Cameo, use anything you want. So this was just me trying to figure out how I was going to do it, how I was going to lay out the popsicles, but I decided to have them just be sprawled around, just all over the place. And the Hello, I was just trying to figure out where I was going to put it before I even layered it on the foam. And here just started to layer the embellishments, and you can see there I have everything. I have them separated by color, so it's just easy for me to just reach in and grab the ice cream or the popsicle and then just layer it. And go ahead and layer it with the 3M mounting foam that I'm using right here. It was just super easy. Cut it up to whatever size I need and just slap it on the back, and you are good to go. These are super, like, I think what took me longer was actually just figuring out what I was going to do, because I had so many ideas that it drove me nuts, and I'm like, you know what, I totally give up. I give up. because this was basically what I wanted from the beginning, and I was just going about it like totally different ways. Now the colors seem a little, some of them seem a little bit dark, some of them seem a little bit light. I could have used pastels, but I wanted to have a little bit of more of a brilliant spring pop to it, to these cards. And I just wanted to not only make embellishments, because I mean I have the dies, I just cut it up, but I wanted to make a project from it, actually make it from it, that you can use. And these are just hello cards. I was going to make birthday cards, but I don't have a birthday die, and I didn't want to bust out my cameo. Not everybody has a cameo, but I'm pretty sure you guys have dies. There's the Heidi Swap dies, the Lawn Fawn word dies. All of those you can easily use for the sentiment. Super easy, because I actually did cut up some thanks words from the Lawn Fawn die, but I did end up using it. I just really wanted to use this hello brush font. Like I said, I've never used it, and it's been sitting in my stash, and I just feel like I totally wasted it, you know, by not using it. And I totally fell in love with it, especially when I used it with the foam, as you will see coming up. So here I am, just placing stuff, figuring everything out. And here's what I was just making sure that the foam has returned to its original state of thickness, so I can go ahead and just do the layering of the glue, and then I'm just going to carefully place the cardstock right above it. This makes it super easy. If you take the foam out of the backing, out of the base of it, it's gonna take forever. So here I was trying to get crazy and, you know, take it right away off of the base, and I had to add a little bit more glue because it is foam. Remember, it is foam, it's not cardstock. It takes a little bit longer for it to dry. So, you know, I just held my hand over it to make sure it was staying flat and it was drying, so I can use it for my sentiment. And actually, at one point, I just set it aside, and I grabbed this blue one, and once I put it on there, I totally fell in love with it. I'm like, I got to have it that way. So this ice cream, the yellow ice cream, I just went ahead and glued to the base because I didn't want it to be dimensional, because the hello was going to be dimensional. And as you can see, since you're using foam, you can totally bend it. You can adjust it to whatever kind of angle you want it to have. And I just really like the way this looked with the hello just kind of in a half circle. And I'm placing my hand over it to make sure that it actually stays, because like I said, it is foam, so it takes a little bit longer for it to dry. And I went ahead, totally love the way this blue looked, and you can do that with any color foam. They have new colors coming out, not just the basic brights or dark colors. So, but here I am. I'm punching this the hello that I made with the cardstock over the foam, because it has completely dried. And I went ahead and placed it down first this time, because the first card I went ahead and had the embellishments first and then the hello, and I felt like I wasn't sure which way to go. And you'll see me, I struggled. It's so funny how much I can make certain projects, but then the littlest things like this, I struggled with sometimes to figure out, like, okay, do I want it like this? I guess I wanted it in so many different ways, and I just couldn't decide. I just really, really couldn't decide. So at one point I just had to, you know, buckle down and decide which one I was going to use, or in which direction I was going to have the popsicles go. And you'll see I keep going back and forth. It's ridiculous. It took forever just to figure that out, but it was just because I'm neurotic and I want to like do every little thing in one little card. And here I am, just like I said, just totally figuring it out. But I totally like love this phone case. I was even joking with Nathan. I'm like, look, I'm gonna get the purse to match. I'm gonna get the tote bag to match it and everything, because originally I wanted to make it look like the ice creams were melted, but that just wasn't working out for me with the little blotting technique with the acetate and everything. I got really tired of it because I felt like I couldn't control it as much as I wanted to. And my other project, I was actually thinking of using the same die cut and cutting out foam, making my own stamps, you know, cutting out foam, fun foam, and I can use that to stamp. I just wasn't sure how I was going to stamp out, and I really didn't want to take the time to start one project and have to start all over again. So on this card, I'm going to go ahead and make it more like the phone case. So yeah, so this one is going to be very much like the actual phone case, where the cones, the ice cream cones, and the popsicles are facing in different ways, but in a pattern of 2 or 3. I totally fell in love with that. Like I said, I fell in love with this phone case. And I laid it down, and sometimes I'm crazy and I just go ahead and like the first one and just start gluing stuff down. Then afterwards I'm like, oh, I wanted it this way instead. So it's just easier to also just lay down your embellishments and basically pre-plan, you know, like they say, you know, measure twice and cut once kind of situation. And I just went ahead and I actually had fun assembling these little embellishments. The cards just really, I just like the dimension. They're very simple, and I really need to get into the habit of making simple and just adorable little cards, because I feel like sometimes I put too much pressure on myself. I'm sitting here playing with them. I put too much pressure on myself to make them super elaborate or something like that, and I totally fell in love with these. This hello is amazing. I can't believe I just took forever to actually get around to using this dang thing. But yes, Carol, I totally love it. Sorry it took me forever. And the texture on the cardstock actually gave it a nice little like kind of like waffle effect. So it totally worked out. And like I said, that was just like lying in my scrap pile because I couldn't find I didn't want to use craft cardstock, so here I am just putting glue at the bottom of the foam. And the funny thing is you probably can't tell the difference whether it's foam or cardstock. But this with the hello is the one with the cardstock on the top and foam at the on the bottom. So I was like, you know what, I got two, I'm done. And then I'm like, you know what, I have so many more ice creams, and I do plan to make embellishments as well. But I'm like, I had another a foam hello that I also cut out. So I'm like, you know what, I need to make another one. So I just hop over and I grab some cardstock and I cut it down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, just score it in the middle to make another one. And it's a top folding card. All three of these are top folding cards. And in retrospect, I know I could have layered it with some background cardstock or paper and stuff. I just feel like it would have taken away from the embellishments. It would have completely taken away from the embellishments had I layered cardstock on it. But I make a pattern paper because I wanted the popsicles and the actual hello to be the focal point of everything. And I can also go back and just go ahead and round the corners if I want to, but we'll see. So here I am gluing preparing my little ice cream cone. And also on this one, I show how I do a double layer of ice cream. When I was making some of the cuts, I wasn't paying attention, and the actual die for the ice cream scoop was off to the side and it was hanging off of the cardstock. But those smaller pieces, the ones that were in half, are the ones that I use to layer multiple scoops of ice cream. It makes it easier that way. But here I am just adhering the black cardstock to the blue foam. It gives it a really cool effect on the side. So, but here I am just going ahead and making my ice cream. I start with this one is the peacock. And then just go ahead and place the foam. I did the same thing through all of them. The actual prepping of these cards actually took me way longer than the actual assembly of them. It's fast forwarded here, but trust me, it was super, super easy. So this is the one, this guava cardstock. This one is the popsicle, sorry. I'm totally losing my mind. This one, where is it? Here we go. I think this is where I actually start to, yes. This fake tan cardstock was only halfway because it was at the edge of the paper, but that was no problem. Since I decided to make 2 scoops, this one will layer right over it. No one is none the wiser. Don't tell anybody that, there's not a full ice cream scoop on that. Like, it's my diabetes sadness on that one. Yeah, like seriously, I love ice cream. Like, it's so crazy. Like, I'll eat ice cream in the winter. And people think I'm crazy. Oh, and FYI, I don't know if you guys saw my Instagram, but if you guys have a Menchie's, it's a yogurt shop in wherever you're at, they actually have dough floats. They have dough floats, and we went the other day, I just gorged myself. It was bad. I was a little piggy. So, but here I am just adding another, I just like the randomest things, right? But I love dough floats. I love pineapple. And I just love sweets because I'm like just walking diabetes at one point. And so where am I? Okay, so back to this because I'm just sitting here babbling. So here I'm just trying to figure out where I want the hello and if I have enough space for it, because I don't want things to overlap too much and take away from the popsicles. So I'm just popping it out, and see, it has that cool base for when you have the hello on it. It totally gives it a different dimension. And this one I didn't glue completely down to the card. I only glued certain sections that were overlapping with the ice cream cones and the orange popsicle. I just did make sure that everything was completely dry and it completely adhered before I finished, because then if not, I would have had a hello-less hello card. So that really doesn't work out very well. So here I am just showing you guys, and look, you can see the side, so cute. Here's the other one. They're very simple, I think, very simple and very chic, because it's just shows off the hello and my phone case was just white in the base. So thank you guys for checking out the channel, and just remember, next week it'll be Sabrina's turn. I hope you guys like my little tutorial, and thanks for stopping by. Bye everyone.